Jelani Tanai addressed the media today using his platform as a way to spread awareness for relief efforts in Hawaii. He thanked his teammates like Dietrich Wise for their support and donations, saying thanks to them, there's going to be a lot more Patriots gear in Hawaii. Mickelson will be competing against a player who is one, very strong on grass courts, and two, a lefty, different from his opponent Isner today.
What comes next for the Hall of Fame head coach?
Well, Boeheim is not leaving Syracuse anytime soon, though his career as head coach may be over. He says that he will continue his work at Syracuse because he wouldn't know what to do otherwise. Mac Jones is also very happy he's working alongside his defense, which he says is one of the better ones in the league to help him accomplish that goal.
Though she did leave around the end of the third quarter due to an apparent knee injury, she returned, and it's a good thing she did, because Syracuse was down by 5 points with just around 3 minutes left to go in the game when Fair took over and had 11 consecutive points, helping Syracuse defeat Arizona 74-69. But where he really excels is his speed and size. His high school track and field experience gave him that athleticism, and his size allows him to punch through those tight gaps. Well, the Krause-Simmons Trophy remains in the Salt City for the 9th time in a row as the Syracuse men's lacrosse team comes out on top in an 18-7 matchup against the Hobart Statesmen. But with that comes consequences, as once players tee off at Live Golf, they are banned from the PGA Tour for life, except for the 4 majors, like the PGA Championship coming up tomorrow. Now, this is UNC's first away game outside of their home state of North Carolina. But with star players injured and freshmen and sophomores playing in their place, will they stand a chance against Syracuse star players Deasia Fair and Georgia Woolley? He said that whether there was a signature at the end of the day or not, he's here to play in New England. It's the story of the week. 18-year-old Alex Mickelson coming into the tournament and knocking out reigning champion Maxime Cressy in the first round. Syracuse men's basketball's offseason has been a roller coaster of twists and turns. They get a new head coach, Joe Girard transfers, Judemans returns, and to add to the pile, veteran center Jesse Edwards transferred to West Virginia. But with new head coach drama, could that mean his return to Syracuse? Defensive back Marcus Jones is entering his 2nd year here in New England and is hoping to make a jump in his sophomore campaign. He says that while he may not have the height, he does make up for it with athleticism. And it's huge news for Syracuse football fans as starting quarterback Garrett Schrader is now ruled out for the spring practice. The quarterback taking the Orange to a 6-0 start early in the season up until their loss against Clemson. And earlier this morning, the PGA alerted everyone that all facilities were closed due to a frost warning, pushing round 1 of the PGA Championship back an hour and 50 minutes. Bryce Young, for sure, number 1. He is so calm on the field. He is quick. He knows how to read the offense. His biggest weakness, though, is his size. He said he's also still trying to knock off some rust, but today felt like the first day of real football. Are you also confused about this popular topic among student athletes? You're not alone. So what really is NIL? Name, image, and likeness. NIL allows athletes to profit off of those 3 characteristics. Senior at Syracuse Jack Adler works with a company called Out to Win, which helps athletes get these deals. But Adler says there was a time when this was not possible.
On July 1st, 2021, that changed when legislation was passed allowing all college athletes to monetize their personal brand.
Now let's rewind the clock to the late 2000s as UCLA's Ed O'Bannon argued that players should be reimbursed for their name and image in videos, even taking this to court. The judge ordering that $44.4 million be paid in attorney fees and $1.5 to plaintiffs' lawyers, this being the catalyst surrounding topics on the NIL.
70% of NIL deals are social content. So that means a brand is partnering with an athlete, and in return for compensation, the athlete's posting a promotional social media piece of content.
But there are restrictions. One being students from other countries cannot partake in NIL. For example, Syracuse left tackle Matthew Bergeron is an NFL draft prospect, but not allowed an NIL deal because he's from Canada. You will also never see a university logo in NIL promotions, as the school and athlete are viewed as separate entities.
One of the big parts of their identity and their ability to profit off their NIL is that they're Syracuse athletes.
Adler says NIL can bring life-changing money to the table and steer these young athletes down the right path.
What do I do now? I've identified as a lacrosse player, as a hockey player for 4 years. Where do I go next? NIL has opened athletes' eyes to what life could look like after school, because it forces you to think about yourself as more than just an athlete.
Though athletes continue to fight for more rights in NIL, they now have more opportunities than ever before. Alaina Losito, NCC News. Live from the production room in PCR1 of the Newhouse School, the production team for many of the Syracuse sports broadcasts is at work. Here the producer sits and guides the ship, yet for a long time producers were never women like Kristen Hennessy. As a young girl in college, she could never imagine being in the position she is in today.
I didn't even think at that point that I didn't see myself ever being able to get to the level where I could be the producer of the show, because I didn't see myself in any of those positions. There were no women.
Kristen started her career at the University of Cincinnati while studying electronic media and broadcasting. As soon as she experienced the production side of live games, she never looked back. Kristen's replay operator Jake Butchko has worked with her for 5 or 6 years and says not only is Kristen a good person, but her work ethic shows.
And she's just done such a good job of learning how to convey the things that she wants to tell in the broadcast. And it shows. If you watch the games, they're always clear and comprehensive stories.
Surrounded by bright, colorful lights and many video screens, we see Kristen Hennessy sitting here in her production chair where she makes the magic happen.
Though producing can be stressful at times, Kristen says the most rewarding part of her job is seeing others succeed.
And specifically being in the control room here at Syracuse University, it's very rewarding because we get to work with so many great students and see then on the other side how they succeed, and and seeing our students, thrive once they leave here. It's just been the greatest joy.
In Syracuse, Alaina Losito, NCC News.